Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. This is the biggest way you can help me out. This is going to push me through that YouTube censorship that has been plaguing this channel lately. But it is what it is, guys. This is what we're up against, so here we go. So if you're new here, I'd like to welcome you to the channel. And if you're YouTube, just know that there's nothing really weird going on here or anything like that. We're just hanging out, watching some clips. Now, with all that out of the way, let's see what we got today. We are live.
Here's the difference between the Ankh and the cross. Before you get either of these symbols tattooed on you, hear me out. There's a huge difference between the two. For starters, the cross represents death, while the Ankh represents the key to life, both physical and eternal life. The bottom of the Ankh represents the divine masculine energy of the father who produces the seed. The top represents the divine feminine energy. The circle denotes the womb of the woman, because there's no man without woman. The top is also shaped like a stargate, because just like a stargate, women are portals between this world and the spiritual world. The sides are the ovaries where the seed is produced, while the middle is the birth canal. In order for life to exist, it needs feminine energy. The mother and the father come together and create life. Now let's talk about the cross. Just like the many things that were stolen from ancient Kemet, the cross was one of them. It's a perfect representation of the misogyny within the Bible. The woman has no place on the cross. The womb is completely replaced with masculine energy. Life cannot be created with just the masculine energy of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, which is actually the Holy Trinity of Aset, Asar, and Heru. Simply put, the cross is just a colonized version of the Ankh, with a completely different meaning.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
The Nikola Tesla electrical oscillator, and this is the Egyptian Ankh with the Jed pillar inside. And the reason why this is important is because in order to walk through stargates and portals, the elite of the elite, the gods of old, the ancient Atlanteans, the Anunnaki, each of them had their own Jed pillar Ankh that was set to oscillate at a frequency of a harmonic resonance of their own DNA. And so that was the key code to walk through the portal. If this didn't resonate at your specific DNA, resonate with the Ankh, the Jed pillar Ankh, when you walked into the portal, it would destroy you. You would die. You wouldn't even be able to get to the end point, to your Kemetic womb of mankind, representing the uterus. So you see the uterus, the womb of life, the sunset and the sunrise, the fallopian tubes, the vaginal canals, which is a portal of life. Okay. This is one representation of the Ankh that it has, one purpose that it actually has, and one meaning that it has. Here's evidence of technology in the ancient past. You see a Jed pillar holding up what looks like to be a light bulb. This is wireless electricity that existed. You see the Ankh and a Jed pillar inside the Ankh in the middle, where you have a J magnet. You have large induction coils. You have copper windings on the shaft. You have a bar magnet. And, you have the steel tube, which increases the intensity of the current. And this is technology. If you look here to the lower left, you'll see Jed pillars, and you'll see Jed pillar and an Ankh and a staff here from ancient Egypt. On the right, you see again in Pakistan. You see it, in other places around the world as well. This Nikola Tesla only rediscovered these Tesla coils, and he rediscovered them and reinvented them, or I guess recreated them from ancient information that he probably was privy to or had access to. Okay.
Well, not sure what to believe there.
And continue on talking about the CERN collider and its real agenda. Okay, so we're on the verge of a paradigm shift. They've cracked open a portal or doorway or whatever you want to call it from another dimension. By their own admission, they are already in communication with something that has a personality and has ability to communicate. Yep. And the information that they're receiving must be very high-level information, because they're feeding it to laboratories and technologies all across the planet. And what you said, which is so sobering, that video on the internet that captured it was an open satanic worship ceremony, I guess in the Goddard Tunnel.
Yes.
And I saw it and I was like, my mouth hung open because it was so in your face, Luciferian and satanic.
I would say we've probably not seen something that bold in the mainstream media.
No, we haven't.
In our lifetime.
No. And, you know, there's been an escalation, and it keeps getting faster and more bold and more prominent. The Illuminati symbols at the Super Bowls and these giant musical performances in stadiums by music superstars and the Olympics. There are in-your-face occult messages and satanic messages and symbols, which tells you there's a very powerful Luciferian elite in this world, very active, and they're not hiding anymore.
No, they're not.
They've come out.
Because they've progressed in their timeline to the point where they feel invulnerable and no longer have to hold back. In fact, they want to be more bold about it so that they can gather themselves more converts to their way.
That would make sense.
Pull away from us.
Yeah, that would make sense because here in the U.S. we have this rise in the satanic churches.
Exactly.
I would say North America in general, you're seeing a rise of that.
Are there portals to hell here on the earth? Well, Jesus spoke about the gates of hell. Listen to this. The north of Prague in the Czech Republic, there's a Gothic castle with no water, no kitchen, no fortifications, no record of anyone ever living there. History tells us that there was a massive gaping hole that was believed to lead to hell itself, and the castle was constructed to keep what's inside from coming out. During construction, prisoners were offered a full pardon if they would allow themselves to be lowered into the hole. But after the first one came out, no one wanted to go in because he came out screaming, having aged dramatically, years taken off of his life when you looked at him. Are there portals to hell? I don't know. But here's what we do know. Jesus spoke more about hell than he did about heaven. Hell is a real place, and the only way to stay away from it is to put your trust in his substitutionary sacrifice and have faith in him.
But what's really weird is the particular place that CERN was created. CERN itself was built below a old temple of Apollo, which in ancient times was considered to be a portal to the underworld, or CERN is partially situated, is called Saint Genus Poli. Excuse my French. Literally. The name Poli comes from the Latin Apollicum, and it is believed that in Roman times a temple existed in honor of Apollo, and the people who lived there believed that it is a gateway to the underworld. It is interesting to note that CERN is built on the same spot.
It is interesting.
Check out this wild video from Geneva in Switzerland. On December 29th, 2023. No coincidence, I'm sure, that that's the same location that CERN's particle accelerator's at. It looks like they are opening portals again. I'm sure the boosted community will just claim it's a thunderstorm. It's called weather. But what do you think? Just some natural weather phenomenon? Or does it seem like CERN is up to it again? To me, it definitely looks like those parasites are out playing God again. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
That's... What are they messing with?
You seen that? You seen that come out of the clouds? Man, what was that? Hold on, Jack. I gotta rewind.
Wild, man.
NASA recently discovered something called X points around Earth and also around the sun. These are naturally occurring portals that open and close every single day all around the outside of our planet. The Themis satellite system discovered these portals a few years back, and I've been analyzing and watching them. Some of them create direct pathways to the sun and even to other planets in our solar system. So these are called X points. They exist all around the outside of our planet. They're where magnetic diffusion points hit and cross, like our magnetic fields hit and cross. In some way, combining that crossing of electromagnetic fields with charged particles from the sun opens up a portal. So portals naturally can occur in nature. You don't have to make them artificially. So that's pretty interesting. All we have to do now is learn how to harness that power. How do you make it stable for something to pass through without collapsing? And we can travel through space. We can go great distances without having to put ourselves in hibernation pods and things like that.
There's portals all over the world. One of the ones I can talk about, it's an underground facility in New Mexico, and it's a very large building. Inside these buildings, they can fly drones. Very large facility that has quarter-mile stretch inside. And they can fly these drones into the portals and program them to fly back out. And they're trying to figure out this highway of portals through the universe. They're trying to map that now. And that has to do with a lot of the ley lines of the universe. There's a lot of ley lines that are not just here on Earth, but they go from planet to planet and to solar system to solar system. And these are energy highways that extraterrestrials use and that we use to get us amongst the stars.
Okay.
The world is getting steadily more crazy. Someone has got pictures of a portal opened up in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we'll come right back to this right here. Yes, what you think? Yo, that's crazy. This is happening everywhere. I'm about to show you more videos of Tennessee, but do y'all remember when I made the video about this portal very, very recently? In the old video, I adjusted the video coloring to show you guys it was literally emitting its own light. Back to Tennessee. So it's so weird. Ever since April 8th, I've gotten tens of videos of portals on my phone right up in the sky. But I do remember saying that there's going to be a whole bunch of spiritual manifestation, as well as demonic manifestation. You can clearly tell there's something invisible that's semi-physical that is creating that circle. And this is how it started. So this to this, and they're popping up everywhere. Kind of weird because the moon was the same color. This after AI correction. What they want us to think it looks like. Anyways, what are portals and what comes through them? And why does this homemade portal look so much like this? The thing that sits around top of the Temple of Apollo. If I didn't know any better, I might say they're the same thing. Especially with all the UFOs lately. And for those that say Project BB, this one shot a laser back at people who pointed a green laser at it. I'm sure holograms can do that, right? Seeing as how they can automatically have a green laser on board. This easily disproves the hologram theory. But you'll find that out soon anyways.
Have y'all come across this yet? No, because seriously, we need to know what this is. Like, we need to know what this is because this isn't the sun, y'all. This was in Chattanooga, Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains yesterday. Let me show you what transpired of this. Like, it all started looking something like this. Do y'all see that? This ring of smoke, whatever it is, and then it goes to looking like this. Look at this, right? Could this be like creating a portal of some sort? Look at that. Look at that. This is on the Smoky Mountains. Look, what is that, y'all? Look. Like, y'all see that burning fire in the middle of it? But it looks like something is coming through the firmament. And y'all see that? Look at this. What is going on? This is literally like the Truman Show, y'all. It's like something is like cutting the glass or the firmament like to come in, or like literally a portal, like a window. You know what I'm saying? A porthole. And it's literally a hole. And then you see this fiery red thing over here, kind of like Jupiter, right? Right? What y'all think?
I am truly baffled by that.
On our planet, we have more than 3,554 gates that you can travel from one point to another point in a few seconds. All these gates are on ley lines. They are the magnetic field lines from our planet. From these 3,454 gates, there was 12,000 years ago all open. But they have closed them in 3026 before Christ. They have closed all the gates. And why they have closed the gates? It was the last days that the gods was staying on our planet and was going away. And when they was going away, they have closed all these gates. And all these gates today, they are under big temples like we know, like Giza, Angkor Wat, Stone Age, Avebury, and so on. Under these ancient temples are old accesses to these gates. So the last gates was open on our planet was the gates in Mexico. On different temples in Mexico we have gates that was nog still open after 3026 BC. But on the moment when the reptilians have taken over our planet, the Violet Masters have closed the last gates what was open.
Family, we are cracking the code and they don't like it. Look at this. This is a man-made object in Antarctica. And this one, and when you go beyond the ice wall, these warriors are the first one that you see. Look at the swords. Let's talk about Antarctica and the land beyond the ice wall. You remember how we spoke about how NASA discovered X points? And how a scientist said it's a shortcut worthy of the best portals of fiction. Only this time the portals are real. This captain, Robert Falcon Scott, went to the Antarctica and made pictures. Is this the portals where they are talking about? Or this one in the middle of nowhere of Antarctica? Let's not forget that the Book of Enoch is also mentioning portals in Antarctica. The Book of Enoch also talks about huge structures on the Antarctica like this one and this one. And look family, there is even an Egyptian over here. Look at all these obelisks. Crack the code here, link in bio.
Interesting.
We have to talk about this. In the 17th century, there was a British astronomer and scientist named Edmund Halley. He presented a theory that there was like an Earth within our own Earth. This theory has clearly stretched back for hundreds of years, right? With many people genuinely believing that there is a portal or an opening to this kind of place in Antarctica. Now, this particular suspicion comes from the concept that the government will not allow people to travel to Antarctica at all under any circumstances. However, in the early 1900s, there was a polar expedition led by pioneer Richard Byrd, actually did travel to Antarctica. It's been speculated for nearly 100 years that this man kept diary entries that did apparently mention that there was a portal or an opening to an underground world within our own. Considering the fact that there was actually a giant sinkhole found in China that contained an ancient forest with undiscovered species of trees and a vast opening that looks like the sun inside this little world. Now I'd like to show you a clip of a pilot that seems to come across a lake that contains actually warm water in the middle of Antarctica. Check it out. Now, a lot of people claim that this type of thing supports the reason as to why the government will not allow access for humans to travel to Antarctica. Now, some people are actually going to the lengths of claiming that this is actually the lost city of Atlantis. I don't know. But as you can see, there have been huge claims throughout history that Antarctica leads to a portal to another world within our own, including references in movies like Godzilla vs. Kong, where he literally falls through a portal in Antarctica to Hollow Earth. I know this is just a movie, but as I said, theories like this have dated back to the 17th century. In fact, we genuinely have found mini worlds within our own. Just recently, there's a lot of people all over the internet claiming that this could be actually real. To mention this really creepy footage, claiming to be of Deception Island, which is located near the Antarctic Peninsula, which shows a large creepy figure inside what looks like a black lake. What do you think?
Well, that was an interesting episode. I'm very intrigued by the idea of the Ankh being used as technology to stabilize your frequency to travel through a portal. I think that's a really interesting theory. I'd like to dive a little bit more on that and see what more I can find. I don't know what that first guy was talking about, that colonization bullshit, but the two parallels that they did have between Billy Carson and the first guy there was the symbology of the woman's uterus and women themselves being portals. That's the only reason I included that. So I thought that was interesting. Women themselves are portals, and it's a very good way of putting it. Women are the only thing that can actually bring another soul into this world. So we can't say that portals don't exist. We just don't see them in their conventional Hollywood sort of sense. Not to say that they aren't there, though. So this is definitely an intriguing subject, and there's a lot more we can get into with this. This is really just an introduction to this topic. If this is really intriguing and you want to see me do a deeper dive into this, just leave a comment and leave your theories too. I always love when you guys leave your theories down there. It makes great discussion. I love the conversations we have. It's super cool. We're building a really awesome community right now, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. So like always, link is in the description for the merch store. Go ahead and check out a t-shirt, get yourself something cool, support the channel. It's about the only way you can support me at the moment. I am considering a Patreon or a Cash App. A lot of you have been saying, let me buy you a coffee. I'll have to look more into that. I'm not really sure how this all works out, but if that's something you guys are interested in and you want to support me, that would be great, because it's very clear now that YouTube is not going to monetize this channel. A very slim chance of that at all, so that's okay. We're still gonna get out there and get the truth out there. What I'm doing and the community that I'm building with you is much more important to me than the money, and I really like having this community. So again, thank everyone who subscribed so far and joined me on Rumble. Really appreciate it, guys. But that's all I got today, and I guess I'll see you again in the next one. And until then, 80 Canadian, signing off.